may be a parking lot for longer than the 3 to 5 years.
If it is, then we won't own it.
Well, but if Tarleton owns it, then that's still gonna be an issue for the city streets, because the city has streets on 3 sides of that could be impacted. That's one of the things that I think the city, it has asked us to consider, is the impact not only on the property owners and potential leasees, but also on the city departments, specifically street and public works, et cetera, that are gonna be tasked to maintain those streets and take care of whatever problems, if there are any problems.
Understood.
Okay.
Understood.
All right. Thank you, Mr.
Understood.
Gill.
Yes, sir.
Anyone else here that would like to speak in favor of the variance? Is there anyone here that would like to speak in opposition to the variance? I see no one. I'm going to close the public hearing. Commissioners, do y'all have, board members, do y'all have any questions for Steve or comments, or are we ready to make a motion? I think Steve is still on the line if y'all have specific questions for him.
Is he on the line? Is he on the line?
I think so.
Okay.
Do we have questions to ask him?
Well, and I'm concerned with the gravel as you are, but I'm wanting to know what the city's opinion on how big their concern is for the gravel. And I realize that we have it written, and that's the reason we're all here. I just want to know, is there a difference in gravel size? Anything that they can do differently to get this moved forward without causing a risk to our, the runoff and dust?
And Steve, are you there?
Yes, sir, I'm still here.
Okay.
That question, I don't know that, obviously I believe what they have in place there is better than some of the other substrates that I've seen for parking surfaces. But again, we require sealed surface, and the reason behind that, and I think, a point that we could possibly make for your consideration is that with the number of cars that will be in and out of that parking lot, on a given day and on a recurring basis, and the turn radius that would be involved on that, it would have to be a very, very well constructed surface to prevent any maintenance issues, potholes, sinking, etc. And well, they haven't completed the project as of yet, but I have personally observed where some of the gravel is already leaving the property and entering out onto the city street and into the drainage aspects that are there on the property already. So if the city had to express some concerns, I think that would be what I would share. But again, this is within the powers of the board to make this variance if so desired. I would also like to make one further point. Duration of this project and the surf.
No, you're breaking up, Steve.
Will not be able to issue the variance with any type of conditions. So, for example, you cannot say that it's going to be a variance that we get for a 3 to 5 year period. It simply has to be either we approve or not approve the variance.
And that's an important point, that it's, even though what the lease term may expire, but the variance does not. Am I understanding that correctly?
Yes, sir. We consulted with our city attorney on that question, anticipating the question may come up, and I just want to make sure that before you move.
Okay. Okay, thank you, Steve. Okay, there's that
Yes,
answer.
sir. Thank you.
Do we have other questions of Steve?
That was my question.
Okay, do we have a motion? I'll ask a point of order. Is it permitted for the vice chair to make a motion? Normally, the chair does not.
I believe so.
Okay.
You can.
Do y'all, I would prefer it if one of y'all made a motion, but it's got to be voted on either way. If you vote to approve or deny, we'll have to have a second and then a vote, so.
Mr. Co-Chair, I vote we deny the case number B2023-018 for the requesting a variance from section 154.11.A2 for the paid parking spaces.
Okay, I have a motion to deny the request, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, do I have a second?
Second.
I have a motion and a second on the floor. Any discussion by the board members? The motion has been made and seconded to deny the variance. Is there any discussion before we call the question?
Can I make a statement?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I'm all aboard for more parking. We all know that. We need it. But at what cost? I mean, I don't know that it's gonna cause any damage, but there's that risk. And as Steve said, there's already gravel being spread out on the roads. That's my only statement. I hate it to vote that down, but
Okay.
it's a must.
I have the same thoughts. I mean, it's just, I'm all for it. I know the parking up there is not good, but we need to make sure that we're taking care of the city roads and making the right decisions.
And I would echo those thoughts because I think we all recognize the parking woes that Tarleton has, and those do definitely impact the city as well as the university. But I tend to agree with y'all that they're to require this of all the other properties in town, the apartments and the other places, and not for them would seem to be setting a different standard.
Especially since it's not a temporary variance, it's a permanent variance.
It is,
Right.
it is
And
a
that's
permanent
that's a
variance
concern.
for that
As
lot.
much as parking is a concern, and I've struggled with the parking over there, so definitely understand
Okay.
that.
I'm gonna call the question then. We have a motion and a second to deny the variance. All in favor of denying the variance, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Okay, the motion was made, seconded, and voted unanimously to deny the variance. Mr. Gill, thank you for coming. Mr. Martin, thank you for coming. I appreciate y'all's attendance. I appreciate y'all's efforts to help with the parking. Hopefully y'all can figure out another way to take care of this that will have less impact to the city. Thank you very much. At that, Mr. Chair, I'm gonna turn the meeting back to you and let you
All right.
close.
Thank you very much for taking care of that. Of course, the record already reflected that I had to recuse myself from that previous discussion. But I wanted to welcome Mr. Nemo back to the board. We appreciate you volunteering and being willing to serve the city in this way. And we're gonna continue to appreciate JJ and Dean, and I've heard that you're gonna be reallocated.
I think I've been traded.
Yeah. But anyway, I think the landscape will be a little different in January, but we appreciate your service.
I have enjoyed it significantly. Thank you for your patience.
Yes, of course. And so we'll see who the new members will end up being in January. But I know that I've been reappointed, and so I'm very honored about that and grateful and glad to serve. And so we'll see everyone in maybe in January. I hope everyone has a wonderful new year and happy holidays, which include all of them. And so without any further objection, I'm going to go ahead and call the meeting. I'm going to move that we adjourn.
Second that.
All right. Anyone opposed?
Thank you,
All
sir.
right.